Hey y'all, it's Rick here with Uncommon Communion, recording a little bit after midnight on Tuesday. Once again, I had hoped to do a written post, didn't quite get to it, so here we are with the video post. I do think, though, what I want to share with you is going to come across better sharing like this than if I had written this. Let's begin, though, as we always begin, with recognizing, realizing, celebrating, affirming, and leaning into the reality that we are always and everywhere in the holy presence of the more. Well, y'all, it has been 2 days, Sunday and Monday, since the No Kings rally number 2. And if anything, since then, I have come to appreciate what we did more and more since then. And part of the reason that I can appreciate what we have done is some of the things I saw and experienced are sinking in a little bit more. You know, the day was exciting and hot where I was, and there was just so much energy and just so much. And now, as I look at photos, mine and others, and I hear reports, and we get the official confirmation that was 7 million people, 7 million, and it just is deepening in me the appreciation for this, the magnitude, and the importance of carrying this energy forward. I've been looking on the website, the No Kings and the Indivisible and the 5051 to see when the next one is. And they haven't published it yet. I know winter is coming. It's going to be a little harder. And, certain places might be kind of tough to get out in November, December, January. Nevertheless, though, I hope that we do that because I think, especially as T Rump gets more and more desperate, which is hard to believe because he's already showing such signs of insanity. You know, whether it is clinical dementia or not, I cannot say. What I can say is, there is some seriously unhinged behavior that continues to go on with him. And, if there's anything that we have learned about T Rump is how transparent he is, right? How when he gets triggered or poked or prodded by something like 7 million people, sending him hate wrapped up in a beautiful, joyful celebration with inflatables and dancing and street art and everything. I mean, that little tiny brain of his just goes pop, right? It just goes akimbo, a kilter, askew, right? I've been doing crosswords lately, so my vocabulary for things like not straight, crooked or broken, it's been increasing. So, nevertheless, y'all, I think two things have really struck me since the day. Number one is how desperate the MAGAites, the sycophants, the Fox propaganda network are trying a different tactic to smear what happened, right? Beforehand, Mike Johnson, MAGA Mike Johnson, and other talking heads and supporters and puppets and all of that. We're talking about, these are going to be these terrible, violent, Antifa and Hamas and, maybe some ISIS people there. I'm sure there could be some, whatever, right? And you know what, y'all? You look and you see that that was not the case. It was a lot of older, white people. So, what are the Fox people going to criticize? The angry white people. I just watched The Daily Show from today, Jon Stewart, Monday now, and he just had great fun with that. That Fox News is getting all bent out of shape about angry white people taken to the streets, right? It's just the absurdity and the absurdity and the absurdity. I heard one person somewhere in the MAGA sphere, right, say, scolding the protesters for not being patriotic because they weren't watching college football on Sunday. Well, I'll tell you what, or Saturday. I'll tell you what, the rally that I was at, there was plenty of time to do the rally and then go watch the Buckeyes, if that's what you wanted to do, right? Or go to the crew game like my friend Mark did that evening. So the desperation continues and the demented nature continues. You probably saw by now, I once you've seen it, it's hard to unsee, but that bat crap crazy AI video of Trump in the plane and literally dumping crap on protesters and very specific media figures. Brian Sisson, I think his name is, might be getting that wrong, but one of the young new media stars um, is pictured, and it is just absolutely insane. But you know what? That's what Trump wants to do. That's his fantasy. That's his dark, demented, insane fantasy. And you know, I used to think, well, Congress, somebody's going to wake up. No, no, they're not anymore. I mean, they can't, they won't, because they are so far in trouble right now. Because when this regime collapses, and it will, right? And it will, they are going down with the ship. And when the Truth and Reconciliation, when the Nuremberg style war trials take place, they're going to be in the dock, as they say in England. I want to close, though, with some words from Oscar Romero. And if you've been reading my written posts, I've been pulling excerpts from his speeches from a different book than this one. This one is designed with little clips or little quotes that you can read, sort of a bite of his prophetic wisdom and truth of the gospel, backed up with his own life. He was Archbishop of El Salvador for just 4 years before he was martyred, shot at the altar while presiding at Mass. And he has been canonized. He is Saint Oscar Romero. I want to read these words because when we talk about the way of Christ and the gospel and what it means to follow Jesus, Romero, and not any of these insane, Christian nationalist, MAGA influencer types. This is the truth. That is not. The sign that has stayed with me, and I think is encapsulated in this, is the sign I saw said this: it is no longer a political issue, it is a moral issue, right? It's no longer if you're red or blue or rep or dem, right? Doesn't matter anymore. We are so far beyond that. The question is, are you standing for decency or are you standing for cruelty? Are you standing for stability? Are you standing with the agents of chaos, right? And what Romero says here in his words, that again, he backed up with his life. He says this, we'll close with this. He says, the word of God, according to St. Paul, has to be a word that springs from the eternal ancient word of God, but that touches the present wound, today's injustices, today's abuses, and is what causes and this is what causes problems. This is to say, the church is getting involved in politics. The church is becoming communist. This accusation is really getting old. Understand once and for all, the church is not sticking its nose in politics. Rather, it is the word, like a ray of sunshine, that comes from above and lights the way. What fault does the sun have that its light, its pure light, finds puddles, manure, and trash on the earth? It has to shine light on it. If not, it would not be the sun. It would not be light if it did not show what is ugly, what is horrible that exists on earth. In the same way that it shines light on the beauty of the flowers and shows the enchantment of nature. The Word of God also, brothers and sisters, on the one hand shines light on what is horrible, ugly, and unjust on earth, and inspires the good heart, the hearts that, thank God, abound. Well, yeah, there were 7 million of those good hearts, plus the many more who drove by, the many more that would have been there if they could have been there. So many more. The good hearts. And what we did that day is we shined the light, we shone the light on the evil, the cruelty, the darkness. And we did it with joy, we did it with play and fun, and we did it together. That, y'all, is what the reign of God looks like. And I'm so glad that I and you hopefully were able to participate in it. Our work is not done. This was just one step in what will be a long journey and possibly likely a harder one and a darker one. But yet, the words and the life of Saint Oscar Romero and so many others remind us that good does triumph. This will pass, Trump will fall, and hopefully, this is ultimately my hope and my prayer. And what we will hopefully do together is to build something even better, to restore our democracy in a way that we have not seen in our lifetimes. That's my hope and my prayer. Well, y'all, it's getting late. I need to go to bed. Blessing and good. Be bold. Be well.